Hello YouTubers and fellow petrolheads, it's the Buggy Builder again, back once more to show you the progress on the Chaos Motorsport Buggy project. So here goes. As you can see from the photos, the buggy is being stripped fully down to allow any final welding to be completed and also to allow the application of an acid etch primer to the whole frame, so that there was a good base for the 2-pack top coat. And here we have it. So here's the buggy chassis complete in its new 2-pack polyurethane brush paint. Yes, I did say brush, not spray. Due to the restrictions on a single garage, I didn't think a spray was a particularly good option, especially with a 2-pack paint. Without the necessary breathing apparatus, that would have been somewhat hazardous to my health. So brush paint it was. This is actually supplied from a manufacturer in the UK, and it's a yacht paint. It's turned out to be an excellent quality, really hard wearing, resilient paint. And overall, I'm really pleased with the finish. So let's have a closer inspection of the chassis and go over a few of the points that are probably a little bit more difficult to see with all the different panels and parts actually attached. So, as you can see here, this is the nose section. You can see the battery tray mount there at the bottom. We're going to have a pointy finger mount in a minute. Wait for it. There you go. So those are the replacement stays. These are just in so that I can keep the chassis to its maximum height so I can paint it easily and crawl underneath it to get to paint the underside of the actual frame. So moving around to the driver's side of the chassis, we can get a better view of the pedal assembly mountings. And looking over from the top, pointy finger mount coming up. There you go. So that's the upper mount for the bonnet and steering column mounting brackets here. Okay, at the top here we've got the mounting tabs for the dashboard module. The side mounting tabs you can see there. Here comes the finger. There you go. That's for the wing mirrors. And as the camera swings by very wildly, you can see the mounting points for the harnesses here and here. These are the front ones. And just off the center there, you can see the center mounting point near the tunnel. These are the upper mounting points for the top 2 mountings for the harnesses. That odd little bracket in the center there you go, is for the intercom system. These are the brackets for the fuel tank. Both sets. There we go. Moving around to the back now, you can just see the fuel pump mounting. If I can move the camera down, there you go. Here we've got the outer bracket for the rear lights, and then a new tab mounting to the back of the frame, which is for the fog and reversing lights, one either side. I'll have a quick view on the inside of the rear hub. You can see we've managed to paint and prep all the interior of the hub and the brake calipers, refurbish everything. There you go, a better view of the caliper, all nice and shiny and silver. There's the anodized brake banjo bolt fitting there, just blocked off at the moment with a nylon bolt cover. Now these are the mounting points for the wheel arch brackets. 2 wings, one either side, and they've got basically an 8mm insert into them. So we've got 4 8mm bolts holding each bracket on. View of the rear. We've got the new little tabs welded in there to support the Rear sump guard. It's not much of a guard, it's only 3mm aluminium, but it's there to protect or to really keep a lot of the filth away from the gear change mechanism and the bottom of the engine. And there we have it. So what's next? And look, the reassembly fairy's been in and put the dashboard module in. Well, it's not actually a fairy, it's a big bloke in blue overalls covered in red paint, but don't tell anybody. Okay, so the dashboard module was painted in 2-pack red like the rest of the frame, and also got some carbon fibre wrap over the front edge. Reason for this really was the 2-pack paint, brilliant as it is on the tubing. Well, I was struggling quite a lot with it on a large flat surface. So after carbon wrapping the dashboard module, I got a little bit carried away with the old carbon fibre and thought, interesting, maybe put it on the bonnet. So look at that, there you go. There's the bonnet, full carbon wrap on it, and also the rubber edging that goes around the outer edge of the aluminium panel, just so that it will pass the edge radius requirement of the IVA test. And the IVA test is the road legal test in the UK for all vehicles that are individually built, like kit cars, etc. So once the bonnet was completed, I thought I might as well do a lot of the other panels in it as well. So the nose was the next section, and this is what that looks like. As you can see, both the curved section at the front and the lower panel are both now wrapped and again edged in that rubber edging. Quite pleased with the overall finish. Here you see all of the side panels on the passenger side. Again, carbon wrapped, no edging on these panels because obviously they're recessed into the tubing, so we can get away with the edges being just straight wrap. And you can see the side repeater there on that triangular panel, another one of the requirements for the IVA test. And then this front quarter panel, you notice a hole through the front edge of it, which, there you go, you can see in the camera frame there. And that's for the magnetic charging point. So the idea being that this buggy isn't going to be out every day of the week. There you go, there's the finger pointing, fantastic. So therefore I needed a way to keep the battery in the buggy charged even though I wasn't driving it around. So that charging point feeds directly onto the battery under the bonnet there and keeps it trickle charged whilst the vehicle is not in use. You can see we've not actually fitted the panels on this side. The floor's not in at this point as well. You can just see the cable there. That's the side repeater coming through the side panel. And the actual mounting points with for the panels. Still with their actual labels on, so I know which one goes where. So this section of the video is taken a few weeks later, and as you can see, there's quite a few more panels in place. We've also got the fuel tank in. And you can start to see what the look is going to be like now for the finished machine. We've also got a roof on it now as well. Again, I've put some carbon wrap on that so it matches the rest of the panels. The engine bay panels will stay as anodized aluminium. You can see the heat shield there for behind the passenger side seat. Again, we've got to put some rubber edging on that so it complies with necessary regulations. And there is my sump protector, or should I say thin aluminium plate to keep the filth off of the gear change mechanism. Oh, and there's the intercom there mounted as well. You can see the fuel tank in place now, on the necessary fuel lines. And there we've got the front firewall. And that's all final fitted now as well, edged, ready to go. Still got to put that quarter panel on the side there. And there we have it. Still lots to do, lots of bits and pieces to add to it. Closer view there of the front firewall, or bulkhead, whichever you want to call it. Bolt covers, phenomenal amount of bolt head covers used in this buggy. Every single nut and bolt has got to be covered, another part of the regulations, unless it's got a beveled head on it. You can see the floor in there as well, and also the eyelets for the harnesses are in at this point. Okay, finally, here's the garage. We've got a few parts there, just been painted in the 2-pack red. And they're drying, so that's the center section of the tunnel. And you can see suspended from the roof, the roll bar contain the light mountings, the fog and reversing light mounts, and the front headlight mounts, and the rear light mounts. So that's almost it now for this update. I've got a few stills just at the end to show you what the buggy looks like now with the parts that were all suspended from the ceiling finished and on. And yes, I have a whiteboard in my garage to remind me how many jobs I still have to do to get this thing finished. And this is what the buggy looks like now. Moved on quite a bit, but still a long way to go. So thank you very much everybody for viewing. Hopefully that's been a good update for the buggy. And I'll post again soon. And I promise it won't be 2 years between the next one.